So I'm just doing a quick video on a wiper fault which applies to an E60, E61, E63, E64, E39 and E46. They all use a similar type of circuit. So with this car, it's an E63, and I encountered this issue recently. Now I did get paintwork done very recently, and I thought, oh, maybe there's a connection, there's a wire, there's something that's not done right. But I've checked everything and everything looks okay. So I went to look at the fuses, I looked at diagrams. I'm actually going to share it in this video as well. And I looked at different things. I had a look at the linkages, looked at the motor, everything else there yesterday, and everything seemed to be okay. So the only other thing that I'm thinking of is a relay. Now, Matt mentioned the FRM module, which is about €1,000. It's very expensive. Obviously, I don't want to go down that route. Nobody wants to go down that route. But yeah, so another thing I'll be looking at is the relay. So in this video, I'm going to show you. But first of all, I'm going to show you the issue. So I'm going to hit the intermittent button, and I'm going to switch it off. It doesn't want to switch off. Hit that button. Nothing's happening. And the wipers have parked themselves right up in the middle of the screen. So when this first happened, I was like, what's going on? Is it electrical? Is the water getting in? Is there an issue? What's happening? But yeah, later in this video, I'll explain to you more. But this will be a fix that applies to the E60, E61, E63, E64, E39 and E46. So hopefully this video will be of some use to you guys. So I just went to Summerhill and picked up this relay. 61368 384 505. The BMW relay. I got it from an E60 LCI facelift, and that's the exact relay I have in this car. So hopefully this fixes it, but we'll see. We're going to find out there later today. There's your ECU box, and you need this tool. See if that will focus. So it's a 5 hex head. The first thing I do before going any further is disconnect the battery, because you are going into where the ECU box is and the relays. So I'm going to disconnect the battery first, then remove the rest of the bolts for the ECU box, then we carry on. Okay, I've just disconnected the battery, just the negative. If you're to remove the positive, you may cause a short circuit, so it's always recommended to remove the negative first. And I've just placed this piece on top, just to avoid it making contact with the battery. So you're now looking at the ECU box. There's a set of relays in there, and you can see the ECU just sitting at the back there. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. You may see the brown relay at the top right corner. That's your wiper relay. So this is the same in the E39, E46, E60, E61, E63 and E64. So yeah, and this is very simple. You just literally pull it out and swap with the new one. That's it there. And the best way to know the layout, see the writing just here? This always faces towards the wing. That's the new one. Well, it's used, but identical part number. So that's it plugged in. You see your ECU. I think the blue one controls the windows. There's a few other bits in there. Pretty simple layout. Before I put everything together, I'm going to put the battery back in, or reconnect it rather, and then see if this works. Now it's time to test it and see if this works. Okay. It works. You might have thought that was going to be the end of the video, and to be fair, so did I. Unfortunately, the issue came back 2 days later. So, in some cases, if you replace your relay and the problem solved, perfect, this has worked for some other people. But if you're like me, and the problem has reoccurred after a couple of days, keep watching this video. I'm going to explain to you what's happened and how I've fixed it since. After the fault reoccurred, I was thinking, okay, I got away with it too nicely with a €10 fix. So I went and bought a new one directly from BMW, and then I refitted this again. Unfortunately, again, the issue reoccurred, so I knew something wasn't right. And of course, I called Matt. Matt got in his diagnostics, he plugged it in, and he said, okay, this isn't looking good, it could be your module. This is the KBM module to be precise. I was thinking, oh no, but what else can we do in the meantime? He said, first, it could be the motor, the wiper motor itself. So, that's the next thing I did. I went and bought the wiper motor, and here you're going to see me fitting it. You probably want to know what happened after I fitted the motor, so keep watching to find out. Okay, I'm going to use WD-40 on these guys just to loosen them up a bit. I know there's another tool you can use to pry them out, but I think if you use a set of spanners, after using WD-40, let it settle in for a bit, and then pry it up, it should do the trick. So We'll see in a sec. Okay, gonna let that sit for a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna use the spanner to pry out the wiper arms, and I'm gonna use the mallet to tap on top of the spindles, which will vibrate any kind of rust or any kind of anything that might be there to hold it back. So I'm gonna tap it to vibrate it a bit, and then use this to pry it out, and hopefully that'll do the trick. When I first bought the car, I actually replaced this linkage here. So this guy from an E60, so that was when I first got the car, because that wiper actually went the whole way across and wouldn't spin back. I was like, what's going on here? Stripped it back, found it was that. I looked online, I managed to get it for 20 quid. So that was a good little purchase, and it's lasted since. It may go at some point, but as you can see there, it's quite a simple little setup. It's the reason why that arm does that sort of sweeping motion similar to a Mercedes, where it goes around the windscreen. It's because of the double link on it. But yeah, if you ever find yourself in that problem, that's probably the issue right there. And if you own an E63, don't forget you can use it from other E60 platforms, E60 and E61 and E64. So by clamping this underneath the wiper arm, let me get that focus. Clamping this underneath the wiper arm and this on top of the nut, on top of the bolt, and when you clamp it, it puts pressure underneath the arm, using that, and then knocks it out. So that worked out nicely. To remove the extra cowling, or that other piece that covers the very bottom of the windscreen, this area here, you start off with this guy here. Okay, and that just slides off. You don't pull it out, you just slide it out. You can see the way it works there. add an important part of this video. This piece, anybody who owns an E60 or E60 chassis who has done the wipers before will recognize this on the left hand side wiper arm. So it has splines inside it. This guy gets completely wedged on this guy here and doesn't want to come off, and I used the clamps just like I did with the middle one. I used all sorts of things. Matt had to go with the vise and a hammer and a few other things, and the final decision was just to remove the assembly and try and push the grommet out so you could lift the plastic cowling out. And then when I was working with the other bits, Matt stuck this on the vise and 2 taps with a hammer and it came out, which is pretty incredible. But yeah, so that's another option if it's completely stuck in there, is to try and push through the grommet, remove the plastic cowling, and then just hammer this guy out if you have a vise, or clamp it down in some way and just knock it out, because that looked very easy with just 2 whacks with this guy. So yeah, happy days. So it's been a few days on since I fit the new motor and put everything back together. Matt plugged in the diagnostics to check the functions. Everything looked perfect on the day, and a few days on and it seems like everything is good. So I'll just show you now. I'm actually low on water. We can see all the functions are working as normal. Single tap, intermittent, slower speed, and then I'll stop it. And then rain sensing. Obviously it's not raining right now, but yeah, that's it. So the job is done and it's fixed. So that is the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.